Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and very recently I just watched the Amazon Prime show, Secret Level, and yeah, in this video I'm just gonna like give my thoughts about like each episode and all that stuff, and yeah, there will also be slight spoilers for some of the episodes, so if you haven't watched the show yet, I guess you can just pause this video and then just come back, and yeah, anyway, let's get on to it. Right, the first episode, uh, which was the D&D episode, a pretty overall pretty solid start to the series. Everything was cool, like the animation, voice acting, all that other stuff was cool. I enjoyed this episode, even though like I didn't really know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, and yeah, again overall pretty solid episode to start off with, and yeah, I'll give this like a 9 out of 10. Alright, episode 2, which was the seafood episode. Okay, the animation was really cool. Like, I can see, like, Arcane had a slight, inspiration from it, but I don't know if that's true. But, anyways, this episode was probably, like, my favorite episode of, like, the whole series. And, yeah, the action was really good. Like, it just felt like it just came straight out of the game. I like how they, like, used that aging mechanic that's also from the game. Uh, Again, it's probably my favorite episode out of like all the whole series, and yeah, I would give this like a 10 out of 10. All right, episode 3, which was the New World episode. Uh, Animation was good. It's kind of just like the D&D episode. This episode has an oddly wholesome ending to it, which I didn't actually see coming. The main character is kind of annoying at first, but like at the end you get to like him, and yeah, overall not a bad episode. Pretty good, even though I know nothing about New World, just like the D&D episode. And yeah, I would give this like an 8 out of 10. All right, next up we have episode 4, which was the Unreal Tournament episode. Episode was pretty good. The robot stuff was good. Kind of reminded me of Terminator for the most part. And oh yeah, fun fact, I didn't know Unreal Tournament was like an actual game until like I googled it like after I watched the episode, and oh yeah, and after recording this video, and yeah, I just wanted to point that out there. And overall, pretty good episode. Animation, voice acting, all that stuff was pretty good. And yeah, again, pretty good episode, and I'll give this episode like a 9 out of 10. Alright, episode 5, which was the Warhammer episode. This is probably like my second favorite episode, like right after Sifu, like I said earlier. But yeah, Warhammer 40k episode was just like a blood-spilled adventure, or blood-filled adventure. Uh, anyways, I don't know anything about 40k, so like, but like I enjoyed it regardless, and yeah, the action was pretty crazy. Just these Space Marine dudes just tearing people limb from limb. Yeah, good old classic gore and all that stuff. But yeah, oh yeah, that demon thing, like right at the end of the episode, like that shit gave me like nightmares for like the next day, like right after I watched the episode. And yeah, again, this is like my second favorite episode, even though again I don't know nothing about 40k lore. And yeah, overall, again, pretty good episode, and I'd give this like a 10 out of 10. Alright, next up we have episode 6, which is the Pac-Man episode, and I think this is like the most controversial episode out of the whole series, like, at least that's what I think, and yeah, I can see why people don't like this episode, because it's nothing like the game. But I don't think that's a bad thing, because I just think that this is like the most misunderstood episode. And I just think that this is like a unique adaptation. Like it's basically just like an Eldritch horror adaptation of like the game. And I think that like the main character of like the episode was it like that weird mannequin alien looking guy. Like I think that's supposed to represent like us like playing this game in some sort of way. But yeah, overall it's not a bad episode. Again, I just think it's like a misunderstood episode to some sort, and yeah, I'd give this episode like an 8 out of 10. All right, next up we have episode 7, which was the Crossfire episode. It was a pretty good episode, but I think this is probably like one of the weaker episodes personally. But yeah, this episode felt like one of those like early 2000s action movies you see like on TV or something like that. But uh, like during this episode, I feel like some people would like find the guy in the suitcase like kind of annoying, but like I think that's just like his character, I guess. And yeah, overall pretty good episode, but I think this is one of the weaker episodes. But yeah, I'll give this like a 7 out of 10. All right, next up we have episode 8, which was the Armored Core episode. It's overall it's a pretty strong episode. This is the episode that like Keanu Reeves is in. And speaking of Keanu Reeves, Keanu does a pretty good job in in this show. Like his character is pretty good. Like it kind of reminds me of Johnny Silverhand from like Cyberpunk, and yeah, overall everything was good. Animation, voice acting, all that stuff was good. All the mech fighting scenes were pretty cool to see. Like, kind of just looked like the game pretty much. And yeah, overall, again, a pretty good episode. And I'd give this episode like a 9 out of 10. All right, next up we have episode 9, which was the Outer Worlds episode, and this was actually like a pretty powerful episode about like a love story, which surprised me the most, like so far. And yeah, this episode has surprisingly well written characters. This episode will make you feel bad for like the main character because like it's like the girl that he likes in this episode, like she kind of just like joins like this like uh okay, what's the right word for this like powerful corpo business thing, and like yeah, you kind of just see her like go like crazy and all that stuff. But like yeah, anyways, overall this is a pretty powerful episode, like I said earlier, and yeah, I would give this episode like a 9 out of 10. All right, episode 10, which was the Mega Man episode. It's a pretty cool episode. The animation style is a little bit weird. It gives that like uncanny valley feeling, but I think it works for this episode because like I think Mega Man is like one of those franchises that kind of works in like multiple art styles, and like yeah, again I think it works for this episode. And yeah, a pretty good episode. Again, oh yeah, also this episode is like really short, which I kind of didn't like. And a couple of details I really like were like in the episode they called Mega Man Rock, which I thought was a cool detail because in case you didn't know, Rock is what the character is called like in Japan, or Rockman. That's also what they call him. And yeah, oh yeah, also they play like the Mega Man theme, or at least one of the themes. I don't know which one it is, but like we play it at like right at the end of the episode. And yeah, overall, pretty really good episode. But again, this episode is a really short episode, and yeah, I'll give this like a 9 out of 10. All right, next episode, which was episode 11, the Exodus episode. This episode was like a really emotional story that reminded me a lot of like Interstellar in some ways, especially like the whole time dilation thing that they had going on. Overall, really well written story for a game that hasn't even like came out yet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of you forgot about that, but yeah, Exodus is a game that's like coming out in like 2025, I think. I don't know, I'm not sure. I forgot to fact check that, but yeah, overall, pretty well done story. And yeah, I would give this like a 10 out of 10. All right, next up we have episode 12, which is the Spelunky episode. Just like the Sifu episode, this kind of has like that arcane-esque style animation, but I don't know if that's true or not. But anyways, again, just like the Mega Man episode, it's a very like short episode, but yeah, again, overall, it's a pretty good episode. Like, I really like the story that they had for it. Just like a kid exploring like this cave stuff or whatever. And yeah, overall, again, it's a pretty good episode. And I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. All right, next up we have episode 13. Oh boy, the Concord episode. um, oh god, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but the Concord episode wasn't actually that bad. You need to leave. No! All right, look, I know that everybody hates Concord and all that stuff, but yeah, it actually wasn't that bad. Like, especially when you compare it to like that weird Concord cinematic that we got like last year, I think, in that one state of play. And yeah, just like the Crossfire episode, this episode was like kind of weak, but I think it's like slightly less weaker than that episode. But yeah, overall, it wasn't a bad episode. And oh yeah, fun fact. Okay, I don't know if this is true or not, so take this with a massive grain of salt. But like, allegedly, this episode was like supposed to be like an advertisement for Concord season 2, but obviously that never happened because pretty sure like 99% of you know that Concord was a game that existed, and yeah, and yeah, okay, and again, it wasn't a great, it was a weak episode, and yeah, I would give this episode like a 7 out of 10. Alright, episode 14, second to last episode, which was the Honor of Kings episode. Okay, this one was like a weird episode, I guess. Like, I don't know this game like that personally, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think this episode was for me, to be honest. Like, I know some people might see otherwise, but yeah, overall, it was a good episode. Like, voice acting, animation, all that stuff was good. But again, this episode wasn't for me. And probably like my least favorite episode, I guess. And yeah, again, overall good episode, but yeah, I'd give this like 8 out of 10, I guess. Alright, last episode, which is called Playtime, and this is probably like the weakest episode, like the most weakest, I guess. And yeah, this episode is basically just like an advertisement for PlayStation, because like throughout the episode, like a bunch of like PlayStation characters just like randomly show up. Like, for example, in the beginning of the episode, the Helldivers, like the character models, people, yeah, like they actually show up, and then after they show up, Kratos shows up randomly, and then after that, the Colossus thing from Shadow of the Colossus comes out, and then a couple scenes later, Sackboy just shows up out of nowhere, like says hi to like the main character, and then just dips. And then oh yeah, Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima comes out, but like he's like a background character, though. Like, I think like at the end of the episode, you can see him like just standing there in the background somewhere.
What is this all about?
Just a little game we like to play. Kind of a test, really.
And I totally passed.
See? You see?
That's
Oh, you don't see it?
You know what?
He moves!
really.
Right
And I
there!
totally passed.
Wait!
Really.
Right
And I
there!
totally passed.
Right as I'm sitting down!
And there's also a lot of PlayStation elements too, like it's like just like the button symbols, and like the PS5 console is also there. And yeah, like I said earlier, it's just an ad for PlayStation. And but like it wasn't a bad episode. Again, it's just another weak episode, like the Concord and Crossfire episodes, and yeah, yeah, I think my PlayStation bias got in the way of this episode, but yeah, I'd give it like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Like, what are my overall thoughts on this? Overall, this is a really good TV show or streaming show or whatever you call it, but yeah, it's a really good show with a couple of downhills here and there personally, but I don't think that's gonna affect the viewing experience. Like it didn't affect me at all, so yeah, I don't think it's gonna affect the viewing experience that much. And although I wish we got like more episodes for like other video game titles, but I don't think that's gonna happen for now. And
Okay, quick news flash here. Literally as I was done recording this video, I think it just got announced that this show will get a season 2, but who knows when that will come out. And yeah, anyways, back to the video.
well, maybe I might make a video about like what video games I want to be featured in this show, like if they ever get like a season 2 or whatever. So stay tuned, I guess. And yeah, if I had to rate this show overall, I'd rate it like a 9 out of 10. Alright, that's the end of the that's the end of the video. And if you enjoyed this video about me yapping about this show, feel free to like and subscribe, and tell me what your guys' favorite episode was in the comments, and what did you guys think of the show? And yeah, I'll see you guys next time, I guess. And goodbye.